get them. You're all good. Stop taking part!
lads, keep it going. One o'clock here, make the right decisions. Good pick, mate. Have a shot, have a shot. Make sure about that. You want it, come and shoot.
Andy, left line, Andy, left line, Andy.
Let's go, boys, come on!
Wait, Hannah. Left shoulder. Keep left shoulder. Good man.
What's this?
McGregor, that's a fantastic touch and it's taking it past Lewis Berwick. Dancing left and right all the way through. Hogarth tight for a strike. Still not away and fired in. Courtney Carr finally gets the breakthrough for Uddingston and they lead for the first time. Sea of blue on the edge of the D, plenty of targets to aim for. Again though, it's Campbell, driven strike and in. Hello everyone, welcome to UDDY TV as our Gents ones get ready to face off against Hillhead. Myself, Gordon McComb, joined by Ian Scott, and for now we've got an extra special guest, Mark Strachan. You had a busy wee day today, haven't you, Mark?
Yes, it was an early start, Gordon, thank you, but definitely starting to stiffen up now, but yeah, it's been enjoyable.
Fantastic. So what, Gents 5's action for yourself to start off the day, and then coaching your ladies too. So which of the two games are you happier with? I think this is an easy choice, to be honest.
I've got to be honest, I think it was the 5-2 victory from the ladies, so it's great, fantastic young crop of players, and nice to see them progressing well, so I take some heart from that more than us old codgers running about. When I say running about, it's probably more representative of walking hockey, I would imagine, today, but it felt like more of a sprint, but it probably looked like more of a meander.
Ian, also busy earlier today with the Gents 2s. Didn't get the result that you were looking for. A tricky game, all told, but one that kept you busy as well.
Yes, 5-3 loss, unfortunately, but it's only one game, it's third game of the season, so it's a long way to go before the season's done, so plenty of time to make up ground. We've got a good squad as well, so hopefully we can turn it around and still win the league, which is the goal. But yeah, a good, enjoyable game at times, but disappointing that we couldn't do better this time.
Well, we're hoping the Gents 1s can emulate the ladies 2s and avoid the disappointment that the U's have had as they get ready to face Hillhead. Time we'll take a quick look at their team lines. We'll start with the opposition first. Hillhead, very kind, thank you very much for passing on their team lines for us to be able to provide to you as well. Ian, I think you said to me in a message you're familiar with Hillhead. I don't know how familiar you are with that squad list.
Mostly, I've played with them mostly last year for the first half of the season, so only a couple of new faces that I don't recognise, so I know them both well and hopefully they play well, but I have my Uddingston hat on today. Absolutely.
Let's take a look at the home team lines as well. Certainly a busy one as a couple of the new boys make their way into the team as well. And Mark, good to see so many guys that have grown up through the squad, but also then get supported by some experienced heads, some guys with a bit of talent to come through, and it has a knock-on effect for the 2s, as you find out with the ladies as well. Yeah,
very much so. I think what's important is that there's lots of competition in this first team unit now. There's probably 20, 22 people vying for position, which is a great environment. As you say, many of them come from the youth setup, which is fantastic to see, and credit to the structure within Uddingston. It's been a real focus over the years, but obviously to plug that gap and give additional quality, then they've recruited well, and excited to see the boys today pull out a performance.
Well, if they're anything like game 1, 7-1 I think it was against Inverleith, look, a lot of that came from the short corner. I don't think there was so much between the sides, and Ian, you can weigh in how you felt about that one as well, but certainly a game that hopefully Uddingston, there's an expectation this is going to be a difficult challenge. Short corners could again be the difference between the two sides, and Ian's so important that we see a quick start like that.
Yeah, I think so. It will be a tight game. I think Uddingston probably have more flair players than Hillhead, but Hillhead's basics are probably better than Uddingston, so it would depend. The new players that have come in this year could change it, because I think our pre-season match we lost 5-4, and it was quite even as well. So Uddingston and Hillhead have always been quite evenly matched, but for different reasons, with Uddingston having more flair, and again corners could we've got a good corner team, so that could come into play. But again, Hillhead also have a good corner team. I think all 5 of the goals they scored in pre-season were short corners.
So we're expecting a lot from the set play as we approach getting things underway. This is it, Mark. I see you pull a face there as well. Do you reckon we've jinxed it now that all the talk of short corners, we'll see a couple missed?
I'm not so sure. These games against Hillhead are always tight, intense affairs, and I think it will be a battle of the set plays to an extent. So, not fingers crossed, Gordon, we haven't jinxed it, and we've certainly got a few boys in the pitch that can finish well from these set plays.
Almost ready to start now. Lee Gardner in the middle. Just waiting for final confirmation from the umpire as we get it. And we're underway. Opening exchanges as Campbell can keep it moving, and now Mackenzie. Stumble at the back is Uddingston. Just keep a hold of it for now. No rush, no need to panic. It's only the opening exchanges. Plenty of time to play your way into something. Gardner wants that big driven ball through the heart. Can't find a way to make it stick. And now Hillhead. Always very cagey, these open exchanges. You don't really want to tip too much of your hand.
No.
Not surprised to see both sides knock things around at the back and just wait and see what they see from the opposition are doing with the press. So he'll try and work it down this near side to left. Ali Calladay with the turnover.
I think both teams look quite happy to let each other play around the back just now and try and pick the ball up as it goes forward in midfield at the moment.
Already seeing signs that the middle of the park is going to be an interesting battle as Drake now down this near channel. Carl just switch it from left to right.
Yeah, long corner to Hillhead, I think.
Anything you're picking up in the opening exchange? It's just not surprised to see it be as cagey as you think there, Mark.
Oh, I think the opening affair, it's almost chess-like, isn't it? They're just having a bit of a feel for each other at the moment. Clearly, both teams are set out to compete across the structure.
First look at shooting circle for Hillhead there, but couldn't quite make anything come from that de-entry. Still keeping the pressure on.
Very unlucky. I think if the Hillhead player gets a touch just a bit earlier, a bit further to the right, that could be in. So Uddingston just need to watch for those diagonal balls in from the D.
I think it's important that they recognise that, defenders recognise that very quickly, and I would suggest and get as tight as they possibly can to avoid any tip-ins or.
Yeah. You really want to be in front and in touch at those points, I think, and everyone behind the ball, particularly in that last quarter.
A couple of touches there in the middle for Connor Richmond-Spouse, who's come in this week as well.
It's his debut match today.
First time getting involved and trying to make himself the heart of the midfield there as it loops up and into the D. The umpire will pull that one back just outside. He's that man, Richmond-Spouse.
Hillhead sitting very deep just now.
Just invites a little bit of pressure as Russell with a turnover. Has it just caught his foot? Looks like it has. Hillhead keep it moving again. They're trying this left. They work slightly more inside for Carter again. Doesn't quite come to anything as Campbell can carry back out. Russell.
Hillhead at this stage quite content to show the space in front of them and just shore up half court, making sure there's no gaps through the middle and making Uddingston really work hard across the back to try and find those gaps and penetrate the lines.
I think they're almost waiting for Uddingston to make an error like that, and then they can pick up the ball.
Yeah.
Graham Campbell can get forward.
Chance to try and set up the drive forward, and they will do more with the umpire's whistle as well. I guess, Mark, when you're saying about kind of covering the pass, trying to make sure these lanes are cut off, ball facing, will put a pin in that thought for a second. Ball's in front of Hadland. Gardner can bring it back out.
Well defended there from Uddingston. It could have been quite messy, but able to get the ball out.
Young just makes sure. So as we were saying, Mark, you know, covering those passing lanes, it's quarter one. It's, I guess, this is the bit we expect it all to happen. It's replicating this kind of level at quarter four that really will make it count.
Yeah, very much so. I think that's when
Hannah able to get forward.
Breakaway one-on-one. Found a way through. He's looking for a decision from the umpire. It goes the other direction.
I think that was well defended by Callum Duke there. Because if Hannah gets through, he's 1v1 with the keeper.
Wilson. And will win the short.
Yeah, absolutely, Gordon. As you mentioned, it's very important that these guys are obviously very, very fit. But certainly when tiredness kicks in, that's when the lapses in concentration start appearing. And these players are pretty tidy, so they'll identify any weakness and expose it. So, yeah, it's very important that you stay on your A game and stay focused, even in those tired latter stages of the match.
First look at the short corner. We made a lot of it in the build-up.
Excited to see it.
Jed Campbell.
Goal save or a miss, Mark, do you think?
Say that again, sorry?
Goal save or a miss?
I'm thinking back of the net. There it is.
1-0 Uddingston.
Good call, Mark Strachan.
Uddingston take the lead in quarter one.
Really good corner there from Fami. Really good flick as well. It's hard for the keeper on that side. Almost an awkward height because it's between your leg guard and your pad, your hand pad. So sometimes you've got to think a bit more what you move with. Unfortunately, the postman couldn't get there that time for Hillhead.
Well, fortunately, I suppose it depends on what way you look at it.
Must always be a difficult one, Ian, when you're trying to field those, because as a goalkeeper you're wanting to be the one to get something across, to try and put something on it, but you've also got to trust that your postman's there to try and cover it too.
I think it really
we'll put a pin there to Wilson.
2-0.
Young will finish.
Really good goal there, really well worked from Ben Wilson down that right hand side, and a really, really good deflection from Ben Young to put that again into the roof of the net.
Just seeing that back on the replay is, I don't really think Ewan Campbell had too much he could do there. Got the glove up high, just the sweep from Young higher and into the roof of the net.
Unfortunately, the goalkeeper was left with not a lot of chance there, to be honest. There was a well-worked goal, as Ian mentions, and works it back into the centre of the goal, which gives you a lot of area to aim for. So he just had to try and make himself as big as possible and hope that the Uddingston striker hit him, I think. But yeah, it was a well-worked goal and fantastic finish by young Ben.
And again, even at 2-0, the game's still not over. It's still a long, long way to go. So Hillhead can still get themselves back into this. I just feel they've got to up the tempo a bit.
Certainly more of it I watch, more hockey becomes this game of a pendulum of momentum. Quarter one, at least for Uddingston, swinging their weight. It's got to be about holding that for as long as possible for the rest of the game.
Absolutely, they've done the first bit right. You've got to start well, come out the traps flying, and that's exactly what they've done. So they've given themselves a good lead to keep a hold of and hopefully build on. But yeah, great first period.
Hillhead able to get forward now. We've got options with Murray Ross.
Yeah, good. Saying his name at the same time there. Hillhead keep a hold of it. This is important next couple of minutes for Hillhead as well, just to try and stick to ball, slow it down, get the control back over the game. Like you say, there's a lot that can change later on. The important thing is just to have a little bit of control right now.
They certainly won't be panicking right now, to be honest. So
Hadlin with work to do. Can't do enough.
That's what I meant earlier, just that 2-0 doesn't mean anything really. Uddingston pegged back. The game's tight again.
It's Andrew Black with a final touch there just to make sure of it. A little bit of a stramash at Hadlin's far post.
Yeah, I don't think there was much Nick could do there. He had two Hillhead players on him from very close range. I'm not sure if there's anything that could really be done. I think it was more the ball coming across initially that should have been trapped by the defence, so it doesn't come into that dirty zone.
I think interestingly, for the fact that the game started off pretty cagey, that's 2 goals now that have been pretty open actually. There's been good opportunities, obviously well worked, but there's been a bit of space, probably more than was on display for the first 5 minutes or so. But yeah, game's pretty open at the moment. Game of chess still.
Certainly the sense that both teams are wanting to play. There's not a settle and sit and wait for your opportunities. This is a go get the game by the scruff of the neck and try and take the lead and hold on to it early.
I think so. Certainly that's what Uddingston have tried to do so far, but I think Hillhead are still very much alive and kicking just now.
Sammy Callaghan keeps it moving and Louis Gardner just exchange passes. Andrew Moore just put the set it back. It's almost a rerun of what we were saying for Hillhead when the second goal was in for Uddingston. Another chance just to try and take control of the ball, slow the game down, reassert themselves back over it. It's only one error that's brought the deficit back to 1.
I think it was a similar situation against the Inverleith match a couple of weeks ago. I think Uddingston took an early lead and then were the peg back initially, and then went on to score a barrel load later on in the match and win 7-1. Hopefully something similar can happen here.
Worked all the way from right to left for Uddingston, and chance to send the big aerial. And
lovely take.
Connor's having a good debut so far, I think.
Just trying to skip through the challenges. Looks like he's rumbled a few to the edge of the D. Still going. Didn't quite get the outcome from the umpire.
Yeah, just stopped by Ian Hilton. He's like a fine wine.
Hillhead's starting to try and drop the bomb over the Uddingston defence. Picked up by Robbie Forrest. And McKenzie wide the left. Miller.
Hillhead on the break just now with Matt Carter getting forward. Well defended though from Jed Campbell. Just to slow that down, it allowed players to get back. Uddingston now to win the ball.
Just about to say that in terms of like sometimes for the defence it's not about making the tackle and overcommitting. It's about buying your teammates enough time to get back. Certainly saw that from Campbell there.
I think you want to delay to the point where you feel you can win the ball, somebody else can come in and help you. You don't want to be going in stick swinging and on the off chance you might get the ball, because that's how you, particularly in that last quarter, you can give away short corners there. So just delay as long as you can, let people get back and help out as much and help them buy yourself some more time. And Hillhead getting forward just now. Callum Duke,
Thompson helping in that lovely drive across. Uddingston do it enough.
Hillhead seem to be looking for that ball in a few times now. I think they've had 2 chances, three chances now, I should say, of the ball coming in from either side, looking for that deflection in. and so far they've only been successful once.
I think as things stand, the way Hillhead are set up, they're looking to allow Uddingston the ball in this screen position now that Connor's sat in, and as you said earlier on, Ian, just really looking for the mistakes and pick them off. But what they are doing is they're busting forward in numbers, which is creating the opportunities in the circle. So Uddingston just need to be mindful of that.
So just one of the mistakes happened there, I think. Just that Uddingston have passed it out the sideline.
A chance to try and work things forward for Hillhead. Final couple of minutes of this quarter one. Plenty of entertainment on show.
Has been quite even so far.
You come to expect from these two sides, as we said at the top, and look, the game's delivering exactly as we build it, to be honest, as well.
And we've had a short corner goal, so we haven't jinxed it.
Absolutely. These are two teams that I think both expecting to be competing that top 6, top 4 spot. There won't be many going. You're certainly seeing the kind of level of competition between the two.
Yeah, they're finely balanced, both teams. I think obviously we had the first early goal from a short corner, but I think we've seen too much since then from a short corner point of view, nor have there been many opportunities of creating them. So it's been a pretty cagey affair in the middle of the park.
Really good bit of skill there from Louis Gardner to beat some players.
Now Richmond Spouse with a chance to keep things moving. Send into the D, it's going to run out and through. As you say, Mark, not been too many opportunities to turn D entry into an outcome there, but maybe a chance in these final couple of moments. Now Luca Gardner, who's Uddingston forced back. Struggling to find a way through, but Luca Gardner skips his man. Going to have to move it on soon, or get the help from the umpire's whistle like he does there.
Fami drives in the D, and it's short corner.
Well played. Good, well done.
That's really when you want to win a corner, sort of in the dying moments of the game. Keeps the ball away from your own goal, and it just lets the team, or lets the goalkeeper at least relax, I should say.
We may well get another couple of seconds after this, but we, at least to our time, might find this to be the last major act of quarter one.
I think there's so many options that Uddingston have. It just keeps the defensive short corner team guessing. They're set up with two castles here, and obviously Louis just off the two castles, so it'll be interesting to see how they work this one.
Khaled again, this time saved by Ewan Campbell, and that's where time runs out on us in quarter one.
So Uddingston have the advantage so far, and probably slightly deserve it as well. I think they've had more of the ball and a few more chances going forward, but still very much quite an even game.
Feels finely poised, I think, maybe. The way we like we've said a couple of times over quarter one, we said at the top of the broadcast, these are two teams that are going to fight each other, and the rest of the league all the way when it comes to trying to secure that top 6, maybe sneaking into top 4.
Yeah, well, I think this is the game should be a high standard, because both of these sides were top 6 last year. I think Uddingston getting 5th, I should say, and Hillhead getting 6th. So they're both similar spots, and I think there was only a point in it between them last year as well. So yeah, they're both very evenly matched, and it probably will remain quite cautious between both sides, unless the score starts to increase throughout the second quarter, I would have imagined.
Mark, is there anything you'd be thinking about saying if you're in Tom's shoes, or if you're in the Hillhead coach's shoes, to just little adjustments? Obviously you've got the half to make the major ones, but anything you're saying now?
Yeah, so obviously over your shoulder I can see Tom having a couple of minutes with the players now. He'll be looking at the structure and how he can turn some of the sloppiness really, and improve some of the sloppiness and the unforced errors really, the turnovers in the middle of the park that's put them under a bit of pressure. He'll be looking to tidy that up somewhat, I would have thought. But I think the message is pretty much out and more of the same. Be patient, keep plugging away, no need to force passes that aren't on. keep possession of the ball. If you've got the ball, they can't score, and just work through the lines and take your opportunities. So it'll be more of the same. We'll be tightening up and polishing up some of the finer points, but in the main, I think the message is more of the same, please.
Right, well, Mark, we've got you here for ulterior motives as well, not just having your lovely voice on the comms. We got to talk a little bit about the ladies' twos before we started the game here, but for you personally, for you as a team, the discussions you've had your first couple of games to start the season. How are you feeling about it so far, versus like what you set yourself for targets for the season as a whole?
Yeah, absolutely. So the ladies' second team has been a bit of a project for the past couple of years, actually. So this is my third season working with the ladies' twos, and very early on in season one, we identified that it perhaps wasn't quite at that performance level we aspired for them to be. So we ultimately set ourselves that task of correcting that. So what we've done is we've had a pretty tough couple of years, to be honest. We've immersed a lot, or injected a lot of youth into that team. It's been a very, very young squad. I think the average age last year was something like 18 or 19, so very, very young. But what we have started to see this season is that as the girls continue to develop in their skill set, they are obviously developing, tenfold. So objectives for the season ahead is really just to continue to climb up the table, to compete more in games and concede less. I think very basic. Don't have big aspirations, but so far so good. Girls are good bunch to work with. So yeah, I'm excited for the season ahead. Looking forward to it.
It certainly must be nice in a way to have a blueprint that we speak about as the quarter two gets started, because the Gents twos, Gents ones are doing the same sort of process, maybe a little bit further down the line in terms of there's a lot of young players that have come through the system that have played through. I guess it's easy to sell the dream to the girls when you're saying, look, it's already happening in another position, the guys that we're seeing on the pitch at the moment.
Absolutely. Well, even when you look at the ladies' first team, to be fair, there is a number of the young girls that are actually getting the opportunity to train in that wider squad. We mentioned that the Gents first team probably have a competitive squad of between 20 and 23 bodies. The ladies' ones is getting that way, and again, it's at a very early age. So giving them that experience, allowing them to play with more competent players, can only bode well for the future. So yeah, as you say, the structure on both the Gents and the ladies teams is an exciting one at a performance level for the years to come.
Very good, very good. We'll turn our attentions back to the game. We're a minute or so just into quarter two. Just Uddingston keeping it at the back, as we've come to expect from quarter one as well. Just not afraid to wait for their moment to strike, move it about the back.
Just a very similar start, I think, so far to the first quarter. Again, Hillhead waiting for an error. Good tackle from Joe Russell.
Morgan able to bring back out a defence for Hillhead. Not seen too much of the ball early doors in quarter two, but now chance to seize upon it. Try and probe as they have.
Hillhead lose the ball just past the halfway line.
It was good control pressure from Uddingston there, really, just to force that error.
Russell down the line from Mackenzie, can't quite make it stick. Now Hilton.
Dispossessed by Ben Young, really good tracking back there.
McGregor forced to hold and wait for support. Has it coming in? Luca Gardner just opts for the shorter option. Connor Richmond Spice. To Campbell. Now Khaled. Family trying to stretch legs and get things running. We spoke about it, I think, previously, Ian. But something good to have is the drive to the D continues for Uddingston before Hillhead pick that one off. To have players that are happy to put stick on ball and just try and carry themselves. There's a lot to be said for passing around, waiting for your moment, but like you're saying at the top about the flair players, there is that certain streak of that in some of the players in Uddingston that not afraid to just carry forward themselves if the passing around isn't really working.
Yeah, I think Jed Campbell on the ball is one of those players. He can throw an aerial, as you've just seen, and Fami as well. He's pretty technical. In fact, a lot of the Uddingston have a lot of very skillful players. Just trying to I think that as a squad, it would just be basics they would need to improve on. And that there would be a complete squad, I think, at that point.
Certainly a squad that can provide a bit of excitement as well as now Hillhead look to provide some of their own, trying to find a way back into this one as the drive across, draws the parry out of Hadland.
Good double save from Nick Hadland to get it out of the D. Fraser Ward able to probably get a shot away now, which he does.
The drive, and it's a mess in front of the goalkeeper. Uddingston can clear again.
Unable to get it outside, but Uddingston able to take the ball, and they'll probably take their time with this one, just get reset.
I don't know about you, Mark, but whenever I see that scrum around the spot, right in front of the face of the goalkeeper, all it takes is someone to swing a stick, and then suddenly everything changes.
Safest person in that position is definitely the goalkeeper with the pads, I would suggest.
Uddingston survived that scare, I thought. Mackenzie.
Hillhead have had their chances. They've had a couple balls, and again that's where the scrum part came again from that ball in from the side, which they seem to be looking for, and they seem to be getting some success there too. At least getting the ball in front of the goal. A good ball there from Jackson Curry Duff, all the way through the team, up to Murray Ross, playing striker for Hillhead. It's just inside the 25.
Just looked like a little collision there with Mackenzie.
It's more just a coming together. I don't think it was anything intentional. Hillhead unable to take advantage of their situation there, and that could be a card.
It is indeed. Green for breakdown.
6.5 minutes into quarter two. It's been a pretty decently disciplined game so far. I don't expect it to change, but first card always opens the door for that pendulum to swing a little bit more.
I think as well that will make it harder for Hillhead the way they're playing. They're quite a compact team, and they're playing very much as a unit. If you take one player out of that, it just becomes harder because you've got an extra player just to cover. So gaps will open up at that point.
He'll just look to shrink in, I would imagine, and try and see these 2 minutes out, concede the space in front of them. He'll be quite happy with Uddingston playing the ball around the back like this.
Campbell now.
Jed's able to get forward. Under pressure though.
Trying to drive its way to the D, doesn't quite get anything from it. This is perhaps one of those times with the man advantage, Mark, you are targeting to try and camp in and produce at least one of the outcomes from the short corner.
Ultimately that's where so you've got space, you just got to make sure you use it and don't get too excited and try and do too much. You mentioned earlier on about some of the flair players and ball carriers. When they find a bit of space, they maybe then deviate from the plan of attack. We just want them to try and stay composed, use the shape of and the systems that they're working to, and really let the ball do the work. Try and stretch the play as much as they possibly can, which then in turn might open up some space for these flair players, but we don't want them to be overly on the ball.
Miller trying to shut the door. As Carter comes forward.
It looks like he'll look to get that ball in there. Well defended from Jed there, and from Angus, able to just to hold up play for a bit and allow Jed to get back and and help him out.
Hillhead able to drive forward and send something towards the D. Ends up with nothing.
Fred able to get a deflection at the back, so it'll be a long corner to Hillhead just now. They look to be getting forward, even though they've not got 10 players in the pitch just now.
Just these little flashes, little reminders that despite going down to the man less, Hillhead stepping back up and taking back advantage as well and trying to camp in. Not been deterred.
Captain Fraser Ward on the ball just now, driving a goal.
Uddingston looking to turn this from defence to attack very quickly. Haniff, chance to drive. Able to room to roam down the left side, can face this one across.
Unlucky.
Two in the middle, neither take it.
Just a step or two too short there, and just on any touch there, and that I think that's going in at the sort of back post area. Just unlucky that Uddingston couldn't get there in time.
Forrest and Halliday both there. That would have been a good goal to pick up halfway through quarter two. Just over halfway through now. Instead it's the visitors coming forward, driving out the D themselves.
Good save again from Nick Hadland there. You can't really, as a goalkeeper, let the ball come across you there, because as soon as it does, you've got to turn and you lose sight of the ball, and you've got to try and hope there's somebody behind you to pick that up. So it's better to try, if you can, to intercept it as it's coming across you.
Hillhead still asking the questions. They're driving the D. Mackenzie with work to do. Hadland too there, gets a touch on it. Still scrambling around before it goes behind.
16 for Uddingston to be able just to ease the pressure there.
We're doing so well. Time off now for Nixies to adjust his shins. Should only put our clocks off by a couple of seconds. Just a chance to remind you that obviously our times for UDDY TV not linked to anything with the umpires, so guideline only. Louis Gardner trying to drive through the heart, can't find a way through. Rory Thompson. Now Campbell. Alex McGregor waiting on the wings to rotate back on. Zaddy just struggling to drive forward and ask questions of the Hillhead defence at the moment.
Again, that's just one of those instances where we've just overrun the ball too much. A little bit more composure, let the ball do the work is really important here. Interestingly, the way Uddingston are actually setting up when Hillhead have the ball, they're happy to step in front of the halfway line. However, when you look at the way that Hillhead set themselves up, they're very tight in the middle. The front three are conceding no space through the centre. Uddingston, just at this point in time, I think there just seems to be some more holes there, a little bit less drilled, and I think Tom will want to address that, I would imagine, at half time.
Yeah, I think Hillhead have had more of the ball. I think this half I think they've probably edged it in I should say this quarter. They've edged it this quarter a bit. We've had more of the opportunities going forward, I think.
Chance now to add to that as well is not sure who 61 is, so apologies, might have been a number change.
David Gay.
I have him down as 27, so apologies for that one.
Could be that he's just forgotten his top and he's borrowing somebody else's.
Luca Gard now able to carry over halfway. Can't find a way to connect further forward though. Little nibbles from a couple of Uddingston defenders there. Still Hillhead come forward. Again, driving down the right, Steve McKenzie work to do to try and cover this. Is faced across, couldn't convert. Good Rory Thompson.
Very unlucky there, and again, I think any connection he makes in that would require a wonder save from Nick Hadlon there to stop that going in the net. I think Hillhead have certainly had several chances getting into that. To get the ball into the goal.
Well, we said after the green card that we hadn't been too ill this for the game. Now you're just starting to feel the tensions, the tempers just start to fray as we approach the half. It's only natural, I guess.
Both sets of players have put so much into the half, to be fair, and yeah, it's just about maintaining that discipline, not letting your teammates down by getting involved in anything silly.
I think it's not just now is more the time just for calm heads, particularly from Hillhead's point of view. They might still be losing, but they're not out of the game, so they don't need to go gun ho just yet. And again, from Uddingston, they're still in control, so they shouldn't be feeling they need to chase the game. But they'll be looking to still take their chances when they come their way.
Be very impressed with Hillhead as a defensive unit, despite obviously being a goal down.
Yeah, they have been good, and I think the goals they conceded were just very well worked goals from Uddingston. A good corner and a good deflection.
Just a little bit loose across the face, and now
Louis
Hillhead with a chance to
break
break
forward.
is Campbell.
It was a foul. I don't think it was intentional. Didn't look intentional, but understandable frustrations from Hillhead.
Yeah, there wasn't much in that, to be fair. It was a definite foul, but no more than that.
Certainly one where if you're with the defender's sympathies, it's not a lot you can do to step yourself out of the way that isn't giving the attacker all the space to run in and through without putting yourself as a mass disadvantage going forward. So
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what you didn't see was there wasn't much time between him turning and the contact. Didn't have a lot of time to think about breaking down the play as such. I think it was an unintentional foul. A foul, no more than that.
I think that was probably well umpired there from Fraser Bell. I think it'd be very easy to give a card for that. If you weren't more experienced.
Oh dear.
just a little bit of inattentiveness again from Uddingston. Hands possession back to Hillhead.
I think that's similar to stuff I was seeing earlier. Like Hillhead's basics are very good, or better than Uddingston's, I think. So they don't look to be getting as many giving as many fouls away in this quarter. Uddingston just seemed to not be able to hold on to the ball as well as they were doing in the first quarter. A couple of loose passes out the back. We'll approach half time, I'm sure Tom will say, just to tidy that up.
Chance from the edge of the D, and Young will bring this back out. He's got one last chance.
Forward.
Really good cut out there and just an out of space with seconds left in quarter two.
I think she's become a little bit disjointed from an Uddingston structure-wise, to be fair. Probably longing for that half-time whistle, which is there it is, so they'll be delighted to get the boys in and probably address that, I would have thought. It's
Mark,
just got a little bit
absolutely
ragged.
professional there. Just
Timing was perfect.
Timing was absolutely
I wasn't looking at the
spot on.
clock or anything, Gordon, honestly.
Well, it does mean at half-time Uddingston 2-1 up. A very cagey second quarter that followed all the goals in quarter one. We'll take a look at those just now. We'd talked up the short corner. It didn't let us down.
Yeah, a good finish from Fami.
And Uddingston very quickly found themselves 2 up. This cut back for Ben Young. Hillhead find their way back into it though. A little bit scrappy in front of Hadland and no mistakes from the visiting side. And like Ian, you were kind of alluding to towards the end of quarter 2 there, I think Hillhead grown back into the game since scoring that one to pull it back to 2-1. Certainly asking more of the questions for Hadland.
I think they've certainly got the momentum, but Uddingston are still in front and still in control of the game. They just need to improve their quality a bit going into the third quarter, to hopefully get another goal and then see the game out from there.
I think just seeing that last one back for Rory Thompson, that's a nightmare one for you when you see it back. That if that ends up being one of the things that settles the game, you look back and go, there was a little bit more there that perhaps could have broke his way. Sorry.
I think when Hillhead analysed these things going forward, they will be looking at the chances they've wasted in front of goal. I think Uddingston haven't had as many chances. They'll be looking to try and create more, I think. But I think Uddingston have just been more clinical so far.
I think the warning signs are there, aren't they? I think Hillhead have definitely grown into the game. They've got good discipline, good structure. They have a very clear game plan, and they haven't deviated from that. Uddingston have maybe tried to adjust in some quarters just to try and influence the game in different positions, and I don't think it's quite worked for them yet, to be honest. That solid structure that they started with at the beginning of the game has kind of unravelled a little bit, so I think Tom will be taking the opportunity just to settle the nerves down, get them back to that structure that they rely on, and tighten things up a little bit.
Is that sometimes the case with some of the players, that you go 2 up, it goes to 2-1, you feel the game starting to turn against you? I guess it's difficult as players to want to stick to structure and then to want to try and win the game yourself, in terms of maybe trying to do a little bit more to try and kind of reverse that slide that you maybe are feeling on the pitch.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that certainly from a Hillhead point of view, what you can see is that they definitely entrust the process. They're not panicking at 2-1 down. They're still in the hunt. They've had more than ample opportunities. Uddingston, as I say, just trying to force the issue a little bit at the moment. But it's become a little bit unravelled. And yeah, I think sometimes when you've got so many ball players, flair players in the team, that can count for you, a bit of brilliance, a bit of magic, but equally it can work against you, because it just pulls those players into different positions that then creates the space if the ball's turned over. And unfortunately there have been a fair number of turnovers, unforced errors in that first half that Hillhead have been unlucky not to capitalise on, to be fair to them.
Yeah, I think Hillhead have definitely looked like they're able to hold on to the ball more, and they're able to. They do seem to be looking just to get the ball in from or drive it all the way into the sort of top corners of the pitch, and get a crash ball into the D, and try and nick a deflection or something. It seems to be where their forwards are leading to each time. So it'll be interesting to see how Uddingston respond in the third quarter.
Yeah. Whilst Hillhead are prepared to concede the space in front of them when they're not in possession of the ball, what they do very well is they break fast in numbers. So they know when to break, and they break as a unit, which doesn't just happen by fluke. It's well worked. Lots of hours in the training pitch, so they've come with a game plan, and definitely very much in this game. But on a selfish point of view, hopefully Tom's just got the guys realigned again for the start of the second half. No, time was out.
Oh, just out there as the umpires just confirm things between themselves. Now we're ready to start quarter 3. Hillhead do get us back underway. Are we going to be in for a quarter as cagey as quarter 2? We're going to get a similar amount of goals that we got in quarter 1. Plenty of time left for this game to ebb and flow.
Well defended there from Family, that's well won.
Oh, they're just helping tidy things up at the back. Now Russell. Campbell forward for Mackenzie.
Uddingston seem to be able to get forward here. Stevie McKenzie winning the ball off Fraser Ward for a sideline.
Another look at Newbury Connor, who's really anchoring the middle of the park.
Yeah, I think he's playing defensive mid just now, so be looking just to shore things up at the back a bit. I think that's really what Uddingston need just now, is just
chance for Haniff to strike it, and the umpire's decision goes Hillhead's way.
Yeah, I think Uddingston need a player like Connor at the back, or sort of defensive mids, able to sort of sweep up any danger, almost playing in the sort of Rodri role for Manchester City.
So we've had a little bit of a substitution, tactical sub. Mark, you're relieved your duties. Thank you so much for your support and your insight there. And here's Uddingston.
Hillhead able to get forward, 1v1.
Chance.
Great save from Nick Hadland, and that's so wasteful from Matt Carter there. Really, really well defended from Nick there. Great save, made himself big, which you really want to do.
Certainly one where he's had a little bit of confidence across the first half, and then pull off a stop like that. You can see that's something earned across the game so far. And
I think, or from my knowledge of how Hillhead's team works behind the scenes, that I think Matt Carter will definitely be getting fined for that miss. I think Nick has already made the save, he's on the ground, so there's not a lot he can do. He just needs to keep his composure and lift it over him, and that would be 2-2, but score remains 2-1, and Hillhead's still being quite wasteful in front of goal. They've had plenty of opportunities.
We've got Director Hockey Gareth, I think you're ready to jump in and join in. Also a busy day for yourself as well, but we just keep focused on this for a few seconds. How have you been watching from the sidelines so earlier? How have you seen the game so far?
Yeah, no, I think you can tell it's two teams that were top 6 last year that are kind of have ambitions for that, and if not more so. And it's been quite a competitive affair so far. I think the 2 quick goals from Ruddy in the first quarter certainly have helped, and Hillhead have been kind of clawing their way back into it. They're starting to create a few more opportunities. Maybe it's not as many as they had. Well, they probably want a few more than they had in the first half, to be honest. But no, all in all, I think it's one of those. It's kind of last year's top 6 clash, and it definitely has that vibe of kind of a cagey affair in terms of actually both teams know that a positive result here will probably put a little bit of a dent in the other team's ambitions for the season ahead.
Certainly something we maybe expect to see across quarter 3, quarter 4. Already been a little bit of temper starting to fray towards the end of quarter 2. It's going to be about keeping your head as the game reaches its most important moments.
Absolutely, and as we see, it's a 2-1 scoreline at the moment, and I mean, one goal either stretches it to a 2-goal advantage or you're level pegging again. So it's kind of one of those. It'll be next goal is going to probably have a significant outcome on the total result of this game.
It's good work from Matt Carter there, just to get the ball, hard sprinting, but well intercepted from Connor in the D to stop any Hillhead players getting a deflection. And Haniff can get forward, still on the ball, and he can shoot from Robbie Forrest.
Opens open the door for Forrest there, just wouldn't quite settle for him. Haniff did not for the first time driving towards the top of the D, looking for that tomahawk strike. Instead settled for the ball across. It nearly opened something up there.
He's definitely got that in his locker to shoot from there. He chose to pass to Robbie, just unable to turn it in.
Russell across to McKenzie. He's certainly feeling the pendulum swing back in their direction, at least in terms of the momentum in the game at the moment. I think they find a way to trouble the scoreboard with it as well.
I think Uddingston just need to spend a bit more time on the ball, maybe just get into the swing of things a bit, rather than let the more Hillhead have the ball, the more confidence they'll get. They can nick a goal back. But if Uddingston can can win this, it would be a big turnaround. I think actually, from my memory, last year in the same fixture, Uddingston went 2-0 up. I remember because I was playing, but not for Uddingston. And then Hillhead's got a goal back, but again we're just very wasteful in front of goal. I think Jed Campbell and Stephen McKenzie had a few off the line clearances from some corners then. So I think Uddingston will be looking for a repeat or an improvement, and Hillhead will be looking to try and change that.
Certainly a cagey one from a coaching standpoint as well, Gareth. When you're sitting on a 2-1, you feel the momentum perhaps starting to shift, but it feels very finely balanced. That I guess you're constantly, words are hard today, constantly aware that whatever change you make shifts that balance a little bit more, and you always trying to make the change that shifts the balance in your direction.
As you just said there, you're aiming to make those changes. You want to have those changes that have a positive impact on the game, and it's one of those. If you make a change, something it doesn't work, okay, go back to what it was and you try something else.
Finn Halliday getting forward. Goal!
Oh, lovely finish!
Really good goal from Uddingston to win the ball from the middle of the park and drive it forward. And that will certainly shore up, or certainly make it more likely for Uddingston to get a victory. And Hillhead will be thinking how they've been so wasteful in front of goal recently.
And Uddingston, halfway through quarter 3, have a little bit more breathing room. Ian Campbell there, we just saw helmet off, just taking in air there. Don't think there's too much you could put a haste door in terms of blame for that one, as the strike from Halliday at very close range.
I think the first error from the goal came just from I think it was a Hillhead player not able to trap the ball properly at in the middle of the park. So things are getting a bit cagey.
Well, we said about Tambers getting a little bit flared, and more sign there.
I think there seems to be more urgency now from Hillhead. I think before at 2-1 they looked relatively comfortable and sort of trust they could get a goal back and then overturn, but this looks to have changed things. There seems to be slightly more panic. I think as well, the closer we get to that final quarter, the more and more that will settle in. Ian Hilton will just let that run out though. Good win there from Matt Carter in the attacking half, and that's in the sort of area Hillhead had been looking for.
Good fizz across the D there, but not able to hold on to it. Where Hillhead, and this is the game at its most finely balanced for them. You'd imagine that all these little moments that don't go right, every little error as well on top of that, just makes that task a little bit harder. And knowing that you've got a 2-goal deficit to overhaul, not just the one.
Yeah, I think Hillhead will feel more and more under pressure as we get closer to full time, and Uddingston will be able to relax more. They definitely don't need to chase the game or try and get a final goal now, because after Finn Halliday's goal.
Russell can bring down the aerial, feed it in to Ben Young, sweep across the face of goal. Umpire decision for
obstruction, I think, or a stick tackle perhaps. To be the signal. Good pick up from Jed. Uddingston seem to be getting a few more pickups in the middle of the park that they haven't been getting the last quarter. Robbie Forrest, good save from Ian Campbell there to stop Robbie getting through. Well,
they're still trying to work something across the face of the D from The umpire's whistle now looking for more outcomes.
I think it's Miller on the ball. Very technical.
Just a little.
Uddingston seemed quite tense just now. I think a goal here and that would probably kill the game off at this stage. But a Hillhead goal will get them right back into this before half time, or third quarter time I should say.
Wilson is trying to find a way to work this somewhere dangerous. More collisions between players. Hillhead ball there.
I think we're seeing more of the sort of collisions and appealing for decisions as the game progresses with the scoreline as it is just now. I think it's at that sort of.
This one will result in the short if we see another collision.
I think it's just tempers flaring and the pressure getting to players at the moment. I think as I was just saying, yeah, I think we'll see more of that and more talking back to the umpires as Hillhead get more desperate to try and get a goal, while also defending theirs. I think as well they were possibly lucky not to get a card there.
Well, Gareth, you weren't part of the chat at the start of the game. We spoke a lot about how important short corners have proven for the Gents ones. Certainly one they're getting a lot of success from. We'll see how this one plays out. This Campbell for Halliday. Good parry over.
I think a good save from Ewan Campbell there. It took a nick off the helmet.
But always nice to see, Gareth, that clubs take your team taking advantage from the short corner.
I know Connor's looking for his debut goal. I'm not sure shooting there was the best decision. I think he could have maybe tried and found a pass or an outcome there. Looked like there was a lot of bodies in the way.
No. Look at Gardner as Uddingston keep it moving, trying to keep this pressure, turn it into something more. A little touch on from Halliday, not accurate enough. Just trying to find a way to advance out and break out from. There's been a lot of pressure in the last couple of minutes. The little nibbles just return the ball to Uddingston.
Broken down there by Ewan Campbell. There are two Ewan Campbells at Hillhead. One plays in goals and one is number 9. Brother with Graham Campbell.
Just in case anyone was hearing or seeing double there, I guess important to clear up there. Appreciate that, Ian.
So it's hopefully quite straightforward to notice who's a goalkeeper and who's an outfielder in hockey as well. But
yeah, you'd be pushed to get them mixed up.
Just got me thinking you do the Freaky Friday swap of changing around at half and who feels like playing up front rather than in pads, and in pads rather than up front. Either way, Uddingston have back control of this one.
And I don't think there'll be any rush to take it. I think they'll just look to run the clock down a bit, get to the final quarter.
Look at Gardner again. He will pick up centre right. Chance to try and drive things forward. Sees Mackenzie wide the left. Uddingston content to not force the issue, or not over-force it anyway.
No, it's not where you want to lose the ball. Not under any pressure really there from Louis Gardner, and just I think a miscommunication with Fami, and Hillhead now have a chance to.
And that'll be a source of frustration for the visitors. Just you get a little error, you can take advantage of it, step onto it, and just as quickly as you have it, you lose it.
Yeah, I think that was a chance for Hillhead to maybe get another goal. It's a sort of prime spot for them from earlier, but they look to try and get those crash balls in. I don't think they've had many of those this quarter, so I think Uddingston have done well at shoring it up.
Final couple of moments for quarter 3. I don't think there's been too much, if any, time off, so we should be pretty synced up. Just a reminder again that those obviously aren't synced umpires' watches. Luca Gardner keeps things moving now. Angus Miller in the middle of the park, under pressure, trying to battle for space. Goes Hillhead's way.
Get the ball from the fellow. No, everyone seems to be getting forward now.
Gold rush forward, parried right in front of the feet of Handland.
Good save from Nick Hadlin. He had to be really alert there from Rory Thompson's deflection shot. It looked like it was going to sneak in at the near post. Slider from Andrew Sinclair.
Crash ball just not working in the way that it was in the first couple of quarters for Hillhead. Khaled try and play this out.
Hillhead on, so getting a bit scrappy actually.
Final couple of seconds of this one, surely. And
long corner for Hillhead. Final chance really to do something this quarter, I would imagine.
I think they just need to survive through. Crash ball in, tipped in front of Hadlin, but wide.
That looked like the chance there.
And that is where quarter 3 will come to a close. Cagey one, but one where Uddingston give themselves a little bit of breathing room there, Gareth.
Yeah, I think, as we said, kind of in that the goal, the fourth goal of the game to make it 2-2 or 3-1, that was going to be the one that probably has a defining moment in this game. And I think just at that point you probably saw the goal kind of go in, you saw a couple of Hillhead heads go down, but then also kind of the reaction actually from a Hillhead point of view, trying to get a bit more possession, a bit more territory, try and play the ball in the Uddingston half, and you can kind of see Hillhead starting to try and claw something back. They've got 2 goals to get to try and get something out of this game, so they're going to have to start taking a few more risks. The long ball that they've tried and the crash ball, they're going to have to think about how they tighten that up. So it might be that they move the angle, because Uddingston are now starting to get their spare in the right line, and being able to play it just on the forehand. So it's a case of Hillhead probably just needs to move that ball around a little bit more in that high line to be able to open up those angles that they were having a bit more success with in the opening quarters.
Certainly expecting to see quarter 4, well, the temper and the the tensions are going to mount, and therefore it's going to put a little bit of stress on the tempers, I should say. Ian, we've seen quarter 3 perhaps not be as feisty as it could have looked at different moments. Important for both Uddingston and Hillhead for their respective result at the moment. You keep the head, you keep as many on the pitch as you can, ideally all of you, and just focus on winning the mental end of the game, because ultimately that's going to help you either come back into the game for your Hillhead or see it out for Uddingston.
Yeah, I think for Uddingston they'll look to just control the game at this point. I'm not sure they'll look to grab more goals. I don't think they need to. They should have enough in the locker to be able to defend better. Whereas Hillhead, they'll be looking to try and really get an early goal and put Uddingston under early pressure. But Uddingston very much, I think, in control of this final quarter.
It certainly would be the panic situation for Uddingston is to concede those opening couple of minutes of quarter 4. Suddenly, just that one goal deficit.
Classic Uddingston to do that, 3-1 up in the final quarter and chuck the game.
Boys will see it out from here, we hope. And we'll find out in the next 17.5 minutes as quarter 4 underway. Hillhead get us restarted one final time here. Pressure in more ways than one. I think Hillhead will be looking.
Hillhead will
opening
get
couple
more
of minutes.
Frustrated, as they those chances there, I think if Murray Ross traps that, rather than letting it go out at the back, they'll be thinking, how many more chances are we going to get in front of to get forward? I think it will become a lot more frantic this final quarter.
Halliday. And spouses Uddingston know that this is going to be the order of the day. Just hold on to ball, hold on to a bit of territory, wait for your moment. They find it through Russell, driving through the heart. Forrest can connect with further forwards.
Yeah, really well defended by Jackson Curry-Duff there to stop the ball going, or stopping an Uddingston attack. Got to be strong there, and pressure's on you not to give away a corner.
It's a difficulty for the players in the pitch, Gareth, to not get sucked into, once you have a little bit of territory, a little bit of possession, that you work things forward, that suddenly, if it goes wrong in transition, you leave yourself short-handed when you perhaps didn't need to.
Possibly so, and again, even if you just look at the opening minute and a half from Hillhead, we've seen 2 or 3 long balls in the opening 90 seconds of quarter 4, so I think you're probably starting to see that they want to connect from back to front a little bit more, allow that midfielder to probably be a little bit freer in going forward and going back. But as we see here, I think it's going to be a lot of vertical connections from Hillhead, and it'll be a case of how quickly can we get the ball forward. It feels like that's going to be Hillhead's approach in this. It's kind of, can we get ball? Can we go forward at every opportunity? I don't think there's going to. You're probably not going to see too much build-up from Hillhead. I think they're starting to kind of go into that little bit of panic station, going right. We need to start clawing goals back, and they'll probably start becoming that little bit more direct, as we've seen already.
With the umpire's whistle, they will advance as well. Chance now to try and cause some of those issues. A couple of minutes into quarter 4. Flock is against the visiting side, but there will still be a few chances left in this one, and moments like that, though, don't help the cause.
Not a good aerial from Jed. I don't think he really needs to do that either. I think he should really look to pass the ball round the back.
It's also one of those you just saw from Hillhead's press there.
Good save again from Nick. Sorry, Gareth. Just a ball straight through the sort of split the Uddingston defence, and they were to get a deflection.
Hillhead still looking to ask the questions. Forced away from the D now. The crash ball back in. Won't come to anything.
Yeah, Hillhead have been wasteful this throughout the whole game. Really, they've had a lot of the ball in the sort of dirty zone in front of Nick, and they've only been able to make it count once. Because it has been a mostly even game. Hillhead able to get forward though. A good tackle there from Connor, just to break down the Hillhead attack and allow some players to get back.
Russell, benefit of the umpire decision, can now try and work things forward. Russian Spouses, Uddingston, blue shirts charge, and Halliday on the edge of the D, looking for something to push forward. The tip just runs away. Ian Campbell can clear.
Pulls back in.
Drive into the goalkeeper now. Hannah looking for the opportunity. Finds it through.
That is game set match probably. Really good goal from Hannah. Really good pressure from Uddingston to get forward, and a great pass from I think it was from Connor to reach Robbie Forrest. Really good counter attack there. It'll be one that Uddingston will be able to watch back and celebrate at some point.
And it's also one of those, as Hillhead are starting to press and like kind of chase the game, you're noticing that the height of their press has stepped up. So previously what we've seen is that Hillhead are well around, kind of sitting on that kind of halfway line or 60 pressure just inside the opposition half. And as we saw in the build-up play just before that, Hillhead are now sitting at kind of like a full press, and actually that just started to create the gaps in their press are starting to appear, which then means actually the little balls in here, as we're seeing like between Jed and Louis, are starting to become there's more space, there's more time to be able to do that, and then actually being able to build up through the layers. As we can see here, you break a line, there's more space to then go and play because they've stepped their press up and they're just finding the spaces in behind.
McGregor brought down, penalty flick.
Really well won from Alex McGregor. Yeah, I think the more the score increases and Hillhead try and chase the game, their shapes are gone at the back, and I think that's a result, and it's a chance for Finn Halliday to get his second goal of the game.
He could have let Connor take it on his debut.
Would have been nice.
I think Alex McGregor was wanting it as well there, a little gesture.
Win it and take it.
Halliday, no mistake.
5-1 Uddingston, that'll be the game.
We've got to have you just talk us through a few more things, Gareth. I think I was going back through footage from last season as well, where we were talking through the short corner options, and then one of the ones we picked out ended up in the back of the net. Just you're talking about the press and what the problems with stepping into that full press from this stage of the game for Hillhead. We talked through the break the lines pass. Okay, a little bit scrappy when it gets to D, but ultimately results in goal. I need to just have you up here and just talk us through some of the key moments, and we'll watch them play out just as live.
Psychic Gaz. I don't think anyone wants to see that. I can't predict lottery numbers for those that are about to phone in and ask, but no, I think it's patterns of play, and it's recognising space. And again, if you know, like default teams, so like as we said, Hillhead love to sit on a half court 60, and suddenly they start stepping on full. Then you know that actually you step higher, spaces open up.
Another one that flashes across the face of Hadlin's goal. Needed another taker at the far post. There wasn't one.
Yeah, I don't think this is a 5-1 game, to be honest. I think Hillhead have just been wasteful again. They just cannot seem to find the net. Or indeed the goal. I don't think they've put that many on target. They've not. Nick's made a few good saves, but I don't think he's been overly tested this match. Although maybe commentators curse just now.
Bounced about the edge of D. Hillhead can't make it stick, but now from the tomahawk.
I think this has been given against him as a backstick. But again, as we kind of talked on, Hillhead trying to get ball circle, they're going with that direct approach. There's a lot of crash ball in, and actually in some of the earlier flurries of the game, they are having some success carrying down baseline and winning corners and creating opportunities. So it feels like they're kind of just a little bit of panic station. Just have to get ball into circle, therefore just chucking ball in and hoping somebody gets there rather than necessarily being connected, which we're seeing from the Uddingston approach at the moment.
I was about to say that looked a little chucking ball in and hoping for something there as it flashed across the face of Campbell's goal, and maybe more work for him still to come. Is also can't feed that into the D. Instead it's Hillhead trying to break quickly. Campbell trying to battle and turn and find a little bit of room for something for anything. Is Mackenzie just holding up play now, Uddingston.
Hillhead win the ball from Angus Miller.
They're coming together. This one goes Uddingston's way. Look at Gardner putting body on the line as Campbell spots an aerial.
I think sort of urgency has sort of gone out from Hillhead's play just now. They're still just as frustrated when they don't get the decision, unfortunately, but I think they don't seem to be quite so coordinated as they were earlier. I think just now you've still got the back four sitting quite deep, and there seems to be a gap in the middle. Great
How
save.
is that not gone over the line? Is combination of Khaled, and I think a lot of that goes down to Nick Hadland.
Yeah, I think he's made a great save there just to make himself really big. I don't know how much he knew about it or where the ball had ended up after the save, but it's moments like those you need your keeper. Nick's not done too much in this game, but he's just got to be focused at all times. I think goal difference is a big thing as well for Uddingston, so even though 5-2 is still a good score, keeping the score at 5-1 is better.
A little bit scrappy in the middle there as play gets increasingly desperate. Crash ball looking from Miller, finds its way to Young. Draws a save out of Campbell.
Uddingston don't need to think about going too direct. Here we go, we can just build it back up. 7 minutes left on the clock. Kind of actually don't need to go, oh, get ball, go forward. It's actually get ball, keep ball. And you know what, oh, now we'll go and have an attack. So it's be a little bit more controlled about it. And again, 4-goal lead. Time's on your side here. Time becomes your friend when you're in a nice, comfortable lead.
Hilton dispossessed by Alex McGregor, but stays with him. Hillhead defend well. Whoa. That was dangerous there. Stephen McKenzie's stick got launched across the park.
A little shrug of frustration, but relief as well for McKenzie, who knows the side well in control as he sends the crash ball in. Gareth, we speak a lot about kind of the age and the age profile of both the Gents and the ladies squads. This is one of those moments in games where the guys have to learn this kind of end of the game management of, okay, it's 5-1 and you may be smelling blood, but a couple of players, you know, maybe need to take the moment and just take a breath and settle things down and play the game and manage the game, not manage the thoughts about trying to be the one that adds to the score sheet.
Absolutely, and it's one of those. 5-1's a nice, pretty score, and actually it's a very successful kind of game. Umpire's dropped his whistle there, but as we obviously see them give the corner away, but it's actually, as we said, that gets slightly game management piece. Like if this suddenly becomes 5-2, that's kind of like, hang on, that's because we've just tried to go a little bit too quickly. We've tried to force the hand here to try and make it 6-1. When actually, what would you rather have? Yeah, you'd rather have 6-1, but actually you'd rather have 5-1 over 5-2, as Ian kind of alluded to earlier. So it's kind of one of those where you see the game out, and in the pre-season friendly between these two teams, it was 2-2 going into the final quarter, and it finished 5-4 to Hillhead. So even if it's the case that they get a goal back here, it's still 5 minutes on the clock, and we know there's a danger saying it only takes a second to score a goal. So I would never say never, but you just got to keep these things out.
Doesn't quite come together for Hillhead at the start of that short corner routine. How do they manage with the scraps? Opening in front of Hadlin, and they will convert.
Uddingston 5-2. I think Uddingston have done a good job, though, in general, of not giving away corners. Hillhead do have a good corner team, and they're and I think that's Hillhead's only corner that they've had. I think if Hillhead maybe had, instead of shooting for goal, had gone for some corners, they would have maybe had more success. I'm not sure there's enough time though for Hillhead to do anything meaningful other than for goal difference and pride.
Both Gareth and I immediately dash for a block of wood to touch it to be like, just in case. Like you say, you know, time very much the enemy. It will take something very much counted to how this game has felt like it's played out for Hillhead to get back into this. But
I'm not worried about jinxing anything. Trust the team to get the job done.
There you go. That's the right line for it. There's fortunately a little unforced error in the middle. How's Ben Wilson chasing back, trying to recover?
Work from Bean to stay with Matt Carter there. Matt Carter does have speed to him.
It's Uddingston. The hunt goes back on now to try and restore the advantage, and just less because of the scoreline and the thoughts about goal difference, more about just making sure that momentum swings back Uddingston's way. Don't allow the opposition back into this more than you have from that short corner. Gardner playing a little bit risky there.
Yeah, you really, as a goalkeeper, you really don't want your centre back or whoever's at the centre back dithering there. You just want to play it wide and to safety and try and do that as early as possible. Tom Cole on the ball. Now Callum Duke. (16) for Uddingston. Stevie McKenzie just saying about 2.5 minutes to go from the sideline.
Time very much the enemy for missing side. Hillhead Uddingston with a 3-goal advantage. Just wanting to see this through. Don't know quite what's going through Lee Gardner's head there. He'll keep the pressure on. He's trying to get himself out of the way, but that one will run behind and out for Uddingston ball.
It's a sort of wry smile from just trying to frustrate the Hillhead players.
I'll tell you something we've not talked about just yet today. We normally do is to make sure you're following us across all socials. Thank you for joining us here on UDDY TV. It's the place where you'll find all the live streams of all our Gents and Ladies Ones home matches. And if you're looking for more Uddingston related content, it's at Uddy Hockey across the board: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter or X, whichever one you prefer to call it these days, and TikTok as well. Take a look and see what we're putting out there as well. I know one Alistair Condy may well be watching, listening in, put a lot of hard work in to build it to the point that he's at and allow me to take it forward from there. Big aerial over the top, looking for Robbie Forrest. Just drops a little short.
I suppose I've become a sort of lucky charm for Uddingston. The 2 matches I've commentated, we've won comfortably.
That's it. You're not allowed to play anymore, Ian. You're just going to be on commentary.
Don't bring it up too much, otherwise I'll have to lock you up here. Just been 2 good games for the Gents and 2 home games of the season.
What we'll do, we'll give you a roaming mic for their next away game, Ian. Reporter on the ground at different grounds. You can turn it into a Sky Sports Soccer Saturday.
Oh dear. Don't know if there's been a red card in this one.
I don't have any bad fitting suits, so I don't think I'd make it.
Still final couple of minutes here. Less minutes, more moments as Hillhead look for something that will go down as consolation only, you'd imagine. That one doesn't come to anything.
Some frustration from Hillhead, their inability to get anything from the final quarter. I think as a player, you're not always aware of the time. You're more just thinking that you're losing, and you don't tend to give up. So I think that's why Hillhead are still frustrated. Even though from those watching you think that the game probably is finished.
Russell can't quite nip in time, but looks like it's taking a nick off the foot. The umpires agree. Gardner restarts. Last few moments of this one, you'd imagine. Certainly our clocks suggest so. Halliday.
He'll just probably keep it in the corner and run the clock down, which he does.
And that calls time on the Gents 1's second home game here at Uddingston Hockey Club, and it's another, well, real entertainer of a game. Another one with a good glut of goals, 7 in the end, going 5-2 the way of the home side. Well, busy afternoon, and certainly a lot for Tom to digest and go over. Ultimately, though, an important win, and Gareth, these are the teams that you want to get the wins against. It makes the step from 6 to 4 that little bit easier, and it marks your card as someone really pushing for that top 4 spot.
Absolutely, and it's one of those. Hillhead are definitely going to be one of those teams that you'll be fighting for the top 6, because obviously we split at Christmas into the top 6, and then it's going to be good in for that top 4. So, like, Wassody seem to be having a strong start to the season, and that was the team that finished 4th last year. Edinburgh Uni already dropping points, who were the team that finished 2nd last year. So it's kind of, there'll be some changes in and around that top area, but ultimately it's a case of racking up points on the board to get yourself into that top 6, and in a position to challenge top 4 will be the key to kind of around going into Christmas. But yeah, with Hillhead kind of being one of those teams that you'd be expect to be competitive with, 5-2 win against what you'd deem to be a league rival is certainly something that you would take into the weekend and take into training before you go into your next game next week.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for joining us, Gareth, and Ian as well. Your the lucky charm has been noted, and 2 wins for the 2 Gents games here, so thanks for joining us for this one as well, and our thanks also go out to Mark Strachan for joining us for the first half of this one. It's been a busy day at Uddingston, and this is where it wraps up for us, so thank you very much for joining us here on UDDY TV. It's been a great day, and we'll hopefully have a couple more still to come. I think a double header upcoming very soon, so keep your eyes peeled for that one, but the ladies one's Grange, our next match coming up shortly. Thank you very much for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.